Gervonta Davis could be fighting Rolly Romero in the spring. Who knows what the legal situation will be for Rolly Romero, but it seems like they could potentially break it down a fight. Let's talk about it in this video. King Jr. got another video for y'all. So we have some interesting news as the guy in Gervonta Tank Davis that is a knockout artist, 3-division champion. We hearing some news and reports that he could be fighting Rolly Romero in the spring of next year. I'm not certain about the spring of next year because due to the injury that Gervonta Tank Davis has on his hand, usually it takes about 6 months for a broken hand to heal. It's really dependent on how fast your body recovers in that amount of time. Everybody is usually 6 months, but not everybody's different, So we could potentially see a fight between these two guys. Rolly Romero is, I feel like he's not going to beat Gervonta Tank Davis. He does have an awkward style. I can see him presenting problems, but I just think that Gervonta Tank Davis is just too fast, too smart for Rolly Romero. Has a high ring IQ. Even if Gervonta Tank Davis breaks his hand against Rolly Romero, I think Gervonta Tank Davis will use his boxing ability to outbox Rolly Romero because Rolly Romero, he's just a Ricardo Mayorga guy. He doesn't have the abilities and tools just as Gervonta Tank Davis to make it a close fight. And I just think that Gervonta Tank Davis is going to be too much for Rolly Romero to handle. Who knows? Rolly Romero does have knockout punching power, so one shot can change the whole night of the fight. So, but anyway, I want to backtrack on some things that there was recent reports a few weeks ago that we could see, not reports, but that Lomachenko wanted to fight Gervonta Tank Davis. Well, if that's the case, I don't think that fight would never happen. Okay, Gervonta Tank Davis, in my opinion, is a bigger star than Lomachenko. We can say he hasn't fought the level of competition, but Gervonta Tank Davis bring in big stars at fights. They want to see him fight. Who has Lomachenko really brought in? Lomachenko really hasn't even did pay-per-views just like Gervonta Tank Davis. I think his only pay-per-view, if I remember, I could be wrong, is Teofimo Lopez. I mean, Lomachenko is not a big revenue guy, but he has the resume to back it up. So even if they had a fight that comes to fruition, I still think that fight will never be made because Bob Arum and Floyd Mayweather, you guys know the whole situation. The deal would just not get done. They'll be like, oh, Lomachenko fought the best of the best opposition. And, it'll just allude to a lot of stuff. And Lomachenko, by the way, ESPN clearly is hyping this man to the point that this man, they had him on the list 16. They had him on the list at number 2. They even had Lomachenko over Tyson Fury. Now, I was shocked about that, but they had him as 16 wins, no losses, no draws, 11 wins by way of knockout. I'm like, what? Did Lomachenko lose to a journeyman in Atlanta Salido who had like 30 wins and like 15 losses or something, has been brutally knocked out, 3 to 4 times? And did he lose to a guy in Teofimo Lopez that said he was too green? And Lomachenko makes me funny. He says Devin Haney's too green. Gervonta Tank Davis is too green. Teofimo Lopez is too green. Well, then, if that was the case that they was too green, well, it should be a cakewalk for you, Lomachenko. I mean, you should just legitimately get these guys out of the ring in devastating fashion. Well, Lomachenko was running from a lot of fighters. I'm going to say this. He was running from Devin Haney badly. When Lomachenko was the WBC champion, and Devin Haney was about to fight Luke Campbell for a final eliminator to fight Lomachenko, and then something happened. They pulled out the fight. And then once Devin Haney got to the mandatory spot at the end of the WBC, Lomachenko vacated the belt. He even on record admitted that I vacated the belt for the franchise belt. So Lomachenko has been running from top-level fighters. And so we're probably never going to see these fight between Lomachenko, Devin Haney, and all the other fighters because these guys are top ranked, the A side, B side, they're never going to let that down. But let's keep it moving, guys. What is next for Gervonta Tank Davis? Is Rolly Romero really the next person we really want to see Gervonta Tank Davis fight? I don't know. Maybe. I think if this fight does come to fruition, I think it's time for Gervonta Tank Davis to step up. I think it's time for him to step up in the level of opposition. You know, he has been fighting for secondary belts. I really think he needs to start pressing action. You guys see the age down there in the bottom left corner. He's 27 years of age. We don't know how many prime years Gervonta Tank Davis has. You know, we've seen a lot of great fighters' prime years has been cut short. Like Oscar De La Hoya. You could say Mike Tyson when he went to prison. There's a lot of fighters' prime years has been cut short, and I'm worried that Gervonta Tank Davis' prime years is going to be cut short if he keeps messing around with Floyd Mayweather and not pressing for Floyd to make these fights happen, these big fights come to fruition. So I don't know what to expect, guys, from Gervonta Tank Davis. Hopefully we can get these mega fights out of him. And shout out to Trill Boxing Talk with a great interview yesterday with Mickey Bay, exposing Floyd Mayweather for, you know, basically blackballing certain fighters throughout the years and not pursuing to make them megastars. And if you guys haven't go check out the interview, go check out Trill Boxing Talk. It was a great interview with Mickey Bay. If you guys don't know who Mickey Bay is, Mickey Bay was a guy that was recently a good fighter at the time. And and now he trains with Devin Haney. So Mickey Bay, in my opinion, is going to be, I wouldn't say a Hall of Famer yet, but down the road, he's going to be a Hall of Famer for what he did in the ring. And we're expecting for him to come back in 3 more fights, and then he said he's going to hang it up. I'm excited to see Mickey Bay come back, make his return, to get those last big names on his resume and relinquish his name into the Hall of Fame. But with that being said, guys, I'm not going to keep this video too long. Gervonta Tank Davis, be expecting him to fight Rolly Romero soon, maybe in spring, depending on how fast his hand heals. So, what do you guys think? Do you want to see more levels of Gervonta Tank Davis? Do you want to see him fight the best opposition? I do, at the end of the day. After Rolly Romero, he needs to be fighting the best guys. You're saying that you're the best at 135, but you ain't doing anything what it takes to press the action. And I want to clarify this last thing, and I'm going to get on out of here, guys. Pay-per-view numbers. Steven Espinoza says that he was not going to release the pay-per-view numbers for some oddly reason. It wouldn't matter if Gervonta Tank Davis did 50,000, 100,000, 75,000, 150,000. Some people alluding to that Gervonta Tank Davis. Sorry, guys. Some people are alluding that Gervonta Tank Davis did 150,000, 100,000. So basically, it was low pay-per-view buys. You guys know how illegal streaming works. People illegal stream the fight and stuff like that to watch the free pay-per-views. So with that being said, I wouldn't really care if he did 50,000 pay-per-view buys. Is maybe you could put illegal streaming on the back end of that as well, because nobody's about to spend $60 to pay for a fight. But you got to remember, paying for a fight gives these fighters the lifestyle they want to live, you know. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the business of boxing, stuff like that. But guys, with that being said, it is what it is. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. This is your boy King Jr. I'm out of here. Peace.